Right, so... Well, but we never actually, like, said properly that we would be, like, going dating or whatever. So, it's still not fully an actual, like, romantic relationship yet. A few days later. Deciding now would be a good time to check in and see how things have been progressing with Monika, I reach over to grab my phone. The second I do, however, incoming call Monika, of course. Timing is impeccable as always. Oh wow, we see a glance of Monika's room. Hey Mark. Yo, Monika. I was just about to message you. Oh? Did you need something? Sorta. I was gonna ask how things have been going with your parents. I guess that should have been obvious. But now it's actually a good time. Are you home? Planning to go anywhere? Yes and no. My schedule's totally free today, believe it or not. How surprising. You plan on stopping by? Something along those lines. There was actually somewhere I wanted to go and figured I'd drag you along if you weren't busy. Well, your wording is pretty ominous. I suppose this much should be expected by now. Glad to hear you're learning. Anyway, be ready to go in 20 minutes. I'll stop by so we can walk to the station together. The station? So she's planning to going out of town again. Alright, I'll put on clothes more befitting of a date with the Monika and be waiting for you. Sounds good. See you soon. My heart begins beating faster as she ends the call. She didn't object to calling it a date, huh? Guess that's where our relationship's at right now. Feeling something like pride, I begin heading upstairs. Knock knock. Coming. Reaching for the door handle, I'm utterly unprepared for what's awaiting me on the other side. Hey Mark. Long time no see. Holy hell! You look amazing, Monika. So this was a good choice after all. It wasn't easy finding an outfit guaranteed to make your heart skip a beat. More like one that's flatlined me. To be honest, I don't even want to go anywhere anymore. Staying here alone with you just seems like a much better idea right now. What are you trying to say? Isn't it too early in the morning to be acting so feisty? My bad. I was just caught off guard by how beautiful you look. That sort of thing can wait, can't it? We haven't even had our first proper date yet. She mumbles this to herself, while the only thing I'm capable of thinking is cute. Well, if you're finished oogling me while having lewd thoughts, we should go ahead and leave. No worries, walking to the station won't be enough to stop me from oogling and thinking lewdly of you. Or does the mature and capable class star have a problem with her most junior club member doing such a thing? The only problem I have is with that cheeky attitude of yours. Are you surprised? I am the deviant of the club after all. So let's add a heavy sigh before the two of us step outside. Halfway to the station, I decide to probe her for answers. You never did tell me where we were going. Planning on keeping it a secret until we get there? She shakes her head. We're heading to Nagoya, wherever that is. There's a place I've been wanting to visit with you. Somewhere you wanted to go with me specifically, huh? Is it too early to start getting my hopes up? Do I even want to know what you're thinking right now? Well, regardless of where we go, I can't imagine having a bad time so long as I'm with you. Whoa. Looks like you can say sensible things from time to time after all. Just trying to buy myself some forgiveness for the next time I screw up. Consider this payment in advance. A good idea, but given how often you do that, something more substantial than a few kind words may be in order. Then I'll try coming up with a more fitting approach. One which will even captivate an elite like yourself. Looking forward to it. Continuing the back and forth that has grown so familiar, we make our way closer to the station. Luckily for us, Nagoya is a straight shot from where we live, meaning we didn't have to spend too much time on the train. While this may have been good for our timing, the same can't be said for my nerves. Ugh. You feeling alright? You looked half dead since we got off the train. This may come as a surprise, but crowds aren't exactly my forte. Seriously? Don't you just say that sort of thing for the show? And what exactly would I be showing by voicing my disdain for large groups? That you're edgy, little punk. I normally retort her in this situation, but being surrounded by people has totally sapped my stamina. Well, try hanging in there, okay? The place where we're going isn't too far from here, so we won't be out in this crowd for much longer. Would you feel better if I held your hand? She smiles mischievously. Please, Monika, I ask you to refrain from trying to engage in such explicit acts while we're in public. Explicit? What's explicit about hand-holding? Haven't you kept up with the current culture? Hand-holding is practically on the same level as French kissing, maybe even sex. Shh, keep your voice down. We're in the middle of a crowd, right? What happened to not being able to handle them? I feel exhaustion, Monika, no shame. Honestly, keep on like this and we'll both be exhausted. Seeing her exasperation as a perfect time to strike, I swiftly take her hand in mine. Hey! Yeah, I'm starting to think this girl's all bark and no bite. Something the matter? Perhaps I shouldn't have taken you up on your offer. It's fine. But what happened to being explicit? Did I say I was planning to keep having lewd... I did say I was planning to keep having lewd thoughts, didn't I? Call this a compromise. Her face grows even redder. If you want to hold my hand that badly, then fine. Consider it a reward for tagging along. Going down the tsundere route now. Well, spicing things up every now and then isn't so bad. Still finding some embarrassment, Monika drags me down the crowded sidewalk. We walk for about 10 more minutes before Monika finally begins to slow down. My excitement over being able to take a break doesn't last long, however, as she quickly drags me into a building. Oh yeah, but that fucking monstrosity right there. I remember this cafe. This was in Fallen Angel too, I believe. Ta-da! The girls in our grade have been talking about this place for weeks. You dragged me all the way to Nagoya just to finish a trendy cafe? Visit a trendy cafe? Honestly, I'll never understand your elite types. Come on, don't be such a sour sport. Yeah, sour sport. Aren't you at least a little curious about the interests of your peers? About as much as they are in mine? Well, just think of it as a coffee date with a beautiful girl. There aren't many guys lucky enough to land an afternoon with someone as elite as me, you know? Well, that may be true. The smug look on your face makes it pretty hard to get excited. Whatever could you be talking about? Well, we already made the trip here. May as well try enjoying it. That's the spirit. Let's hurry and place our orders. Monika promptly pulls me to the counter before ordering herself a house blend. Not knowing much about popular trends or social drinking, I stick with getting a plain black coffee. We watch as they prepare our drinks before walking over to an empty booth. You complain about coming all this way just for a cafe and then don't even bother ordering anything unique? Did the thought of trying something new even occur to you? Cut me some slack, will ya? Being a creature of habit is harder than it looks. And as far as new experiences go, visiting Nagoya for a cup of coffee is more than enough for me. Who said that's all we're doing? Apparently wanting to keep the details to herself, Monika begins sipping her drink. This is really good. Part of me thought that the girls in class were just overhyping the place, but perhaps I was too quick to judge. Yeah, it must be the real deal if someone as refined as you is singing its praise. Definitely, here, try some. She shoves the cup towards me with no hesitation. That's not really what I was trying to get at. No need to be bashful. You'll understand what I mean once you taste it. Right. Knowing this isn't something she's going to back down on, I reluctantly pick up the cup. Come to think of it, now might be a good time to get some payback for all the dragging around she's been doing today. Oh, how odd. Is something wrong? Not exactly, it's just a small chip in the rim of the cup. Guess I have to drink from this side. Oh wait, that's... Gulp. Well, this is actually pretty good. Setting the cup back down, I see Monika is now pouting. You did that on purpose, didn't you? What, drink the coffee? No, I meant where you drank from. Cup? Jeez, I'm talking about how you drank from the same spot as me. Really? I had no idea. On a completely unrelated note, the cherry lip gloss you're wearing is an excellent flavor. Doesn't really complement the brew though. Are you serious? Of course not. Do you really think I'd be able to tell the flavor simply by putting my lips against the rim of a cup? That's not the point. Then perhaps you're becoming flustered over the idea of having an indirect kiss with me. She freezes. You know, you're awfully delicate for someone who has tried seducing me in the past. Delicate? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, the innocent girly side of you is definitely cute. I was under the impression you were my mature enhancing senior in life. Are you saying I don't meet those expectations? Whether you do or not shouldn't really matter, right? Haven't you graduated from needing to live up to everyone's standards? At the end of the day, my thoughts and opinions are the last things you should be worried about. Even though I'm only messing with her, Monika's face becomes increasingly more serious. So, you think I'm all bark and no bite, huh? Well, in that case... Whoa, hey Monika! Hi! Loosening one of the straps on... Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, she actually did that. Loosening one of the straps on her arms, she uses her shoulders to press her chest together and creating a scene that can only be described as captivating. What's the matter, Mark? Not feeling well? Well, this is certainly a sight to behold. Aren't you taking things a bit too far? What else can I say? Meeting a person's expectations is in my blood. Or perhaps there's something about my appearance that troubles you. Tch, this is way more dangerous when going all out than I would have imagined. Alright, I concede. Now hurry up and adjust yourself before you send me into a cardiac arrest. Concede? Whatever do you mean? Is this something you're trying to tell me? This little punk. Fine, okay, my club president Monika is the most mature, charming and alluring person I know by several magnitudes. And is most certainly not all bark, no bite. Satisfied now? Incredibly. This may be the first time I've ever seen you so embarrassed. Looks like you may just have a cute side after all. I get the feeling this girl's gonna cause me a lot of trouble in the future. Monika smiles at me the entire time we're finishing our drinks, which makes settling down even harder. Once we've emptied our cups and I've managed to return my heartbeat to a less dangerous speed, I bring up my question from earlier. You mentioned this wasn't our only stop, right? Where else do you plan on going? Our next stop is one town over in Nishio. Huh? But isn't Nishio mostly residential? What's there to do in a town like... Wait, are you thinking about scoping out potential dream houses for the two of us? Or dream homes? Jeez, Monika, aren't things going a little too fast? My maidenly heart can't keep up. Stop with the cutesy act, would ya? It's gonna scare away the customers. Then why are we going there? She puts a finger to her lips before winking. Yeah, that's a secret. Well, I'm on your time today, so wherever is fine. How do you plan on actually getting to Nishio, though? A taxicab stand on the edge of town will be able to take us straight there. But won't going that far in a taxi put a dent in your trust fund? You're hilarious. If you'd rather take an hour-long bus ride crowded with strangers, be my guest. Come to think of it, pumping money into a private business is the very heart of capitalism. No reason for me to refuse such an economic offer. Glad you could see things my way. Spending aside, you seem to have put an awful lot of thought into our date. Or perhaps you've done something like this before? Well, you could sort of say that. We've still got some time left before needing to leave, so let's talk some more while we're here. Oh hey, Monika. Welcome back. Now, aren't you just dying to know more about me? That's one way to put it. After enduring her overwhelming aura for about 15 more minutes, the two of us left the cafe and began heading towards the taxi stop. Most of the 45-minute ride to Nishio was spent making small talk and taking in the rural sights. Once we arrived, Monika insisted on being dropped off at a particular spot near the edge of town. Even after getting out of the cab, she kept the details of our destination to herself and simply pulled me along. The sound of water and smell of salt. There we go. The sound of water and smell of salt grew stronger and stronger until... Oh, there. So in the very fucking corner of the picture, you can actually see the ocean. We're almost there, she exclaims as we step onto a trail leading to up the side of a hill. The ocean, huh? Never mentioned you'd have I'd have such a sight like this today. Stick with me and you'll never run short of variety in your life. If I'd known we were coming here, I may have worn something more appropriate. Tempted to take a dip? Perhaps. What about you? Secretly hiding a bikini under that sundress? Interested in what I'm wearing underneath, are you? Well, play your cards right and you might just find out. A mischievous smirk returns on her face. Certainly a tantalizing offer, but you really should be more careful with what you say. You're bound to mess with a guy's head otherwise. No worries. The only head I plan on messing with is yours. oh, Monika. That's not exactly reassuring. Becoming increasingly chipper, Monika walks alongside me as we approach the hilltop. Ah, there we go. Oh wow, that actually looks very pretty. Where the hell is that? If this is Japan, well, where is that? Is that China? No? Well, no, because with this... Oh no, but hang on a minute. Tokyo's on a bay, right? So maybe... I believe that this area was like near Tokyo. So maybe it's like the other side of Tokyo Bay. A stunning view of the horizon awaits us at the summit. Pretty amazing, wouldn't you say? Well, I'm not much of a romantic type, but seeing this does make me feel like something's stirring inside. That's a relief. I was a little worried even this wouldn't be enough to chip away at those concrete nerves of yours. Which isn't to say I'm not still disappointed, considering most guys would tear up if brought here by a girl like me. Now, don't forget, letting people down is a speciality of mine. A trait you should get used to sooner rather than later. Jeez, didn't I tell you not to talk about yourself that way anymore? Maybe those ears of yours are encased in concrete too. Sorry, force of habit. She shakes her head. Don't worry, it's just another thing I'll have to work on. Work on, huh? Still plan on trying to fix me? Of course. I mean, you're dead now after all. Even more so than before. That a fact? The wooden railing creaks under my weight as I look out towards the sea. The wooden railing gives way a few seconds later, sending me tumbling down the hill. You calling this a date earlier reminded me of something that's been on my mind recently. The night your parents learned of our outing, you left my house for a while before coming back, right? You mean when I went to confront them? Hmm? Yeah, but why are you talking about that? No reason really, it's just that when I woke up your face was really close to mine, so I was wondering if maybe you had tried to kiss me. Her whole body goes stiff as blood begins frantically rushing to her face. Did something like that happen? The whole night was basically one big blur for me. So you were only toying with my maidenly heart then? She giggles nervously to herself, still looking out into the distance. I begin feeling burdened by my increasingly strong feelings for Monika, not because of anything she's done, but because of my own guilt. Continuing to block her out would be unfair after how close we've grown and how much she's entrusted with me. This is something I'll have to face eventually, and if she's with me when I do, then maybe... Well, with a view like this, guess now would be good as time as any. Talking to yourself again? Just trying to hype myself up a bit. This isn't something I talk about very often, though that's probably obvious by this point. Talk about what? What do you... Seeing my expression, she quickly realizes where this is going. Are you sure you want to right now? No, I offered to help, but if it still bothers you, then maybe we should wait until... I'm fine, really. Plus, aren't you the one always going on and on about learning more about me? About how I wasn't upholding my end of our agreement? Even so, wouldn't talking about it when you're not ready only make you feel worse? Well, I've certainly never felt better afterwards, but still, I want to tell you. Huh? It's difficult to explain, but I feel like you have a right to know whether you're actually keen on listening or not. And assuming you want to continue our relationship, this conversation is going to have to happen eventually. Her face goes red for a moment before she begins nodding. If you're really okay with this, then I'd like you to tell me. See, being honest isn't so hard. Now the question is, where do we even start? A familiar tightness fills my chest as I sort through my memories. This time though, I'm determined to deal with it. Guess we'll just go from the beginning. Monika watches with anticipation as I take a deep breath. I mentioned this during our first confrontation, but there was a period of time when I genuinely didn't like you. That hadn't always been the case though. In fact, finding out the class star was in the same homeroom as me felt like a blessing at first. Having her around will draw any and all attention away from me, or those were my thoughts anyways. Reality kicked in not long after actually beginning the semester, and I soon realized how wrong I was. Every time someone made a mistake or was caught slacking, the teacher would always say, "You should strive to be more like Monika," or "You should learn from her example." Hearing those comparisons really started eating at me after a while. Even though you weren't the one at fault, I couldn't help but feel resentful. She looks away with an expression of guilt. It's just, being in that situation, it reminded me of my sister. An icy chill runs through my body as the chest pain grows significantly worse. Sister? I didn't know you had one. Because I don't. Not anymore. Her face grows grim. She died in an accident during my second year of middle school. I haven't spoken a word about her since, not even to Sayori. Up until today anyways. I avoid making eye contact with Monika as something like guilt overcomes me. I see. So you were compared to your sister often? Often would be an understatement. There was never a time when I wasn't being compared to her. Hey. My sister was what you might call a prodigy or genius, someone who could practically master anything they tried doing. She made near-perfect grades, became a star athlete, and was gorgeous to the point of getting job offers from modeling agencies. Oh yo, what the hell? Every time I so much as took a breath, someone would point out how my sister could have done it better. It was suffocating. Even now I can practically feel those invisible hands tightening around my throat. But that wasn't the main issue. While people would talk about how my sister was all these amazing things, they failed to mention how she was also just a person. They isolated her. Either out of fear that they weren't worthy enough, or out of jealousy of all the things she had seemingly been blessed with. The only conversations she ever had were just people saying hollow words about how great she was. Any of this sound familiar? She averts her gaze in an act of affirmation. When I realized you were in a similar position, I was more scared than anything else. Knowing there was another person having to carry the exact same burden as her made me uneasy. During our confrontation in the hallway, you mentioned knowing what a life of meeting expectations would lead to. That you didn't want to see it happen again to anyone else. So she's the reason. I'm not normally prone to outbursts, but my feelings back then were too strong to hide. My sister once told me that when someone categorizes you, changing their mind is damn near impossible. Her words didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time, but I remember asking about how to fix it. She told me it's simple, just look around until you find someone who hasn't put you in a box. Monika seems to resonate with this idea as she turns her gaze back towards me. Is that why you never treated me like the others? Sorry, but I couldn't say. Part of it was probably just my inability to register social cues. That does sound like you. While she may have said simple, my sister never did manage to find anyone like that. What she said about the box, well, those words aren't what made me this way. Something became obvious to me not long after the accident. Even though she was a perfect girl who could do anything, I was nothing more than a worthless brat. She's still the one who died. That drilled the lesson we're all only human a little too damn hard into me. Since then, whether a person is special or not has never really mattered. We all die one day. The vice grip around my heart grows tighter as I mumble this. A terrible way to learn that lesson. I'm sorry. Thank you. Monika stands in silence for a minute before looking back up at me. But I think your sister was right. Do you? Can't say this is the first time I've heard that. Shaking her head, Monika begins closing the distance between us. Her rapid heartbeat can soon be felt as she wraps me in an embrace. I'm not sure if it was simple, but I'm convinced I was able to find what your sister was looking for. Someone that didn't put me in a box, someone who treated me as a person. Hearing Monika talk about my sister drives home just how far I've come with her. The words she says strike deep, causing my whole body to feel a bit lighter than before. That a fact? Yeah, it is. In that case, be sure to introduce us one day. They sound like a wonderful person. Handsome too. You know, I'm beginning to think you try ruining moments like this on purpose. I mentioned it before, right? Deconstructing deep moods and serious conversations is a specialty of mine. Which is another thing you can thank my sister for. Hard as I may have tried to prevent it, the only thing I seem to have inherited is her personality. I see. Or should I say, that a fact? You mocking me, punk? You trying to pick a fight? Rather than reapproaching me, Monika simply tightens her grip. Oh, reapproaching? What the hell? Reapproaching or reproaching? Though I guess I can't be too angry. It is the personality I fell in love with after all. Guess my sense of taste has become pretty warped too. Certainly sounds that way. Perhaps you should get examined by a professional. Hey, I was trying to confess to you. I know. I lean my hand in closer and whisper, thanks, Monika. I love you too. Seemingly caught off guard by the sudden affirmation of my feelings, her heart begins beating even harder against my chest. Well, yeah. I mean, kinda late in the game to be saying stuff like that now. Her face grows hotter as she fumbles over her words. I didn't expect you to be as bad at handling affection as the others. Others, you say? And just who exactly have you been acting affectionate towards, Mark? Monika's hug begins transforming into a vice grip as she mutters this. Looks like you've got Sayori's jealousy down too. Honestly, I'm going to have my hands full with this one. Yep, and it's way too late to back out now. Seems like you're going to be stuck with me. You won't be hearing any complaints from me? Good. Now that the formalities are out of the way, there's something I wanted to give you. Presents already? How proactive. Before I can finish my sentence, Monika leans in and gives me a quick kiss on the lips. Play your cards right and you might just get more in the future. I see. Looks like I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to take up gambling after all. You know that was meant figuratively, right? Honestly, I really do worry about you sometimes. Returning the gift she gave me, I cut off Monika with a slightly longer kiss of my own. To my surprise, her face is glowing red when I pull away. Kinda late in the game to be getting embarrassed, don't you think? Jeez, isn't the guy the one who's supposed to get flustered during stuff like this? Who can I say? Status quos are hard for me, remember? Still pouting, Monika begins punching lightly at my chest. You really are the worst, you know? So I've been told. But like you said, we seem to be stuck with each other now. Yeah, we do, don't we? Our romantic evening continues for a while longer before we decide to start heading back. The train ride home from Nishio was rather lengthy, giving us plenty of time to discuss how we be handling our new relationship. I could hardly believe the events that had transpired when I finally returned to my house. Okay, so that is the Monika route. And then of course there would also be the going to the club meeting with Monika while you're in a relationship and the... Oh no, there's no eating lunch. There's only eating lunch with Yuri or Kiba. And then there would be the summer break one. It's a bit strange that that isn't in here. Because that's kind of the part of the thing, you know? Like, you reveal to the others that you're in a relationship. Or maybe with Monika it is out in the open already. Maybe it's different. Anyway, that is Monika's route. Yeah, that's it for this video too. So Yuri's route will be next. And I'll see you there. See you later, Romans. Walete.